What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and there's some breaking Batman news I wanted to get out as fast as I can and talk about what we have learned. So this is literally breaking as in like an hour ago, probably from the time you guys have seen this. But let's just jump right in. Let's go over what we learned about this new Batman game. So this comes to a source. Everybody's reporting on it. I feel like, and we'll talk, I guess, about the validity of these reports. Let's just get into what they said first. The new Batman game is a soft reboot of the Arkham franchise. It's going to kick off a new, somewhat cohesive DC game universe. Shortly after its release this fall, which means it will release fall of 2020, it will be followed up by a next-gen DC game from Rocksteady. The roadmap from there is foggy. Sources have said that a next-gen Superman game, not from Rocksteady, is also in the works at Warner Bros., but nothing confirmed yet. Details on the story, plot, and gameplay are being kept tightly under wraps. We know that it will feature a playable Bat family, the infamous Court of Owls, and have the introduction of co-op into the franchise. Okay, so that last part is purely speculative. It's just on that website. Everybody's kind of saying the same thing. So let's go over this. Fall of 2020. First time we've gone in a rumor, in a leak, in a whatever you want to call it, a report, that it's going to be fall of 2020. Now, we've been throwing around, would it be the fall? Would it be pushed into 2021? Now, the big thing here to note is if it's fall of 2020, and also they say that shortly after, a next-gen DC game from Rocksteady will be coming out. Now, what's important to note there is that kind of indicate, just based off the wording, and I'm just reading into it. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Based off that wording, that would mean that this Arkham game is going to be a current-gen game. Now, we've talked a lot about it. Is it current gen? Is it next gen? Is it cross gen? Which we've thrown that around. That probably is the game plan. We've heard from so many people that say, primarily next gen. But now it's fall of 2020, which means no, not primarily next gen. More like probably more primarily current gen. So it does definitely conflict. I mean, and I think as we get closer and closer to this being announced, to this being released, we're going to hear, I think we're going to have more conflicting reports in general, but that's big. Okay, so fall of 2020, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to predict that, but first time that this has actually been thrown out there. A lot of people are normally too afraid to say when this game is releasing, also too afraid to say when this game is being announced, but fall of 2020, a soft reboot. So, okay, this is honestly very interesting, because if it's a soft reboot, does that mean that both Kevin Conroy and Roger Craig Smith are out, that they're going to do a brand new Batman, brand new voice? All the talk of is this a sequel to Origins, prequel to Asylum. I mean, it can still technically be in that time period, but here's the deal, and we'll talk about this. I mean, I can think of quite a few videos to make just based off of this information. If they are going to be making an expanded universe of DC, much like Spider-Man for PS4 was to kick off the PlayStation, or just Marvel in general is to kick off an expanded universe there, then it does make sense. If you have him be younger, which I assume he's going to be younger, he's going to be more in his early days, but not technically Arkham Origins, right? Not going to be Roger Craig Smith as Batman. I think, honestly, based off the fact that it's a soft reboot, I don't think you necessarily have it be Roger Craig Smith. I don't think you have it associated. Now, the question is, why do they keep calling it Arkham? They said Batman Arkham 2020, so it's a reboot, I assume on the DC superhero genre, because they'll be following it up with more, but also if it's a soft reboot on Arkham, why are you still calling it Arkham? It's a little bit weird, but again, we can kind of predict that, right? Because it says, the focus on Court of Owls. Again, that's the more like they're just saying that, but that's big. So soft reboot, fall of 2020, and going to be followed up by a next generation game from Rocksteady. That is massive, and it's shortly after. Now, actually, again, if you want more validation that I'm not just talking to talk, and I do kind of, I know kind of the way things work in the gaming industry, you can look at that, because we were saying that, right? With Batman come out, and then maybe like 6 months later, you can't have it come too close, but shortly after, you'd have a Rocksteady game come out, right? And you go from there. Sounds like it. Sounds like if it comes out, say, October of 2020, and then all of a sudden, April of 2021, May of 2020, maybe even June. I mean, that's still relatively close. Shortly after doesn't have to mean 2 months later, okay? It could mean within a year, and I would call that, because it's in the same genre of games, I'd call that shortly after. So if we then have that, and say it's a Justice League game, or say it's, something, that would be massive. Now, one one final thing to note. I made the video a couple weeks ago talking about the Superman thing from Xbox, and this rumor kind of addresses that. And it says that a Superman game is in development, but those are all, and even said, like, it's scarce, right? They don't have a lot of info on it. It's still fishy. It's still very, very fishy to me. Again, we got those rumors that Xbox Series X is going to have an exclusive Superman game at launch. It doesn't sound like, based off of all this stuff, that the Superman game would be ready for launch. It sounds like the Superman thing, yes, it's kind of in the side projects, but it's not, like, really close to coming out. And again, it is exactly what I had said, though. Just because it's a Superman game, it's not Warner Bros. Montreal, it's not Rocksteady, it's somebody else. And does it have to be built like Arkham? Will it truly be a Xbox Series X exclusive? There are a lot of questions. So there's some mystery here. On one hand, I'll tell you this, based off of the speed of my voice, based off of how I'm talking, you can tell I'm excited. And I absolutely am. I mean, these leaks, these rumors don't come out all that often anymore, right? Because we're just kind of sitting and waiting. This is great news. I find it a little peculiar that, guess what day it is? It is Wednesday, February 4th, even at the time that I'm recording and you guys are watching this. Tomorrow is 4 weeks from the day that they did the last teaser. Keep your eyes out. I don't know what videos are going to go up tomorrow, but I will tell you, I think we have to do something, right? I feel like we have to keep our eyes and ears open in case they tease it. Another thing definitely to note is, yes, they are no strangers to things leaking about this game and them not saying anything about it. This is big. Every news outlet is talking about this, okay? Again, they could just stay silent. They could just say absolutely nothing, but I don't know how you let these kind of things just be out there. And again, they say, like, everything's close to the chest. That's... some of this stuff sounds honestly like they've watched my videos, like they've heard you guys, like they've heard me, because it's a lot of the stuff we've already said, but it's saying sources have said, right? They're adding the part that it's sources. There is some new information here. They're kind of putting it all together into one statement. At the end of the day, they could totally be lying. Not even lying. It could just be false information, right? They don't have to. It doesn't have to be completely accurate. But it's still big. This is still absolutely big. So tomorrow's a big day. Keep your eyes and ears peeled. Based off of how these notifications, I trust you guys. I hope you guys know that I'm always here covering this kind of stuff. So, keep an eye on this channel as well tomorrow, because a video may not be able to get notifications. So make sure you have that bell rung just in case. Make sure you guys are subscribed so you guys know when videos go up on the channel. Again, let me know. I leave everything in the description below. Our Discord, our Twitter, all that kind of stuff, all in the description below. Big, big stuff. If you guys see anything, make sure you let me know through that stuff, through email, however you guys want to do it, and I'll be covering it up to the minute. So this is very big information. Let me know in the comments below. Anything you guys want to say about this information? Do you believe it? Do you think it just all sounds kind of too good? Anything you guys want to talk about, let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.